Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games. On camera, the finals of our Wednesday Night Legacy Cephalid Breakfast Mirror Match. Kyle has been experimenting with the list. I actually haven't changed mine very much in recent months. Now with a Cabal Therapy, whiffing on the Cephalid Illusionist that I named. That only happens when you know what you're playing against. Number of hands that really require a Cephalid Illusionist be keepable at 7 are fairly high. Step Through does a lot of that work, but Cabal Therapy there does stop kind of a lot of the blowout scenarios, and also have Aether Vial on board, which is going to make the Cephalid uncounterable. Thassa's Oracle is played, card is kept on top, and then Flashback of Cabal Therapy gets rid of 2 Ponders, making up for that mulligan to a degree. A Brainstorm. Stoneforge, Step Through, and Brainstorm in hand. Gotta put some thought into the versions of the cards that are in this deck. Mismatched Brainstorms. It's a hot mess. Passing with 2 mana open, so going to be able to cycle for Cephalid if need be. Threaten a win in a turn or 2. Very dangerous situation on the other side. 4 cards in hand. And, oh, I remember this. So, Kyle's phone was blowing up this whole time. Little frustrating work situation. And he actually had forgotten to unsideboard 2 Relica Progenitus. So we're going to go ahead and take that relic, put it in the sideboard, get the other one out of the library as well. But this is not going to get resolved correctly. Super worried about it because I was more curious to be able to go back and watch. He does seem to have an awful lot of cards in his hand, so that I believe the Brainstorm has already resolved. That final card was a... Oh yeah, splitting a sleeve. I mean, this is a mess. The final card, I think, was the Relic. So there might be one more card to draw. I believe there should be 5 cards left in hand after resolving all of this. Skipping over a little bit of it. Relic of Progenitus, not main deck. Comes in with the sideboard when you're on the Paradigm Shift plan. Now the Urza's Saga is sacked, and we'll go get a Shuko. He's got the Cephalid in hand at this point. It's going to be pretty tough. Definitely threatening a win. Oh, and he actually casts the Cephalid instead of using the Aether Vial. That last time, that's definitely an error. Yep, this will be an instructive game. It was a weird one. I mean, in the previous rules, that's actually just a game loss when you have an illegal deck game 1. Give you some leeway, allow you to actually fix the situation. Narcomoeba's entering the battlefield. And Cabal Therapy. 1 in the graveyard, I believe. So he's got 3 creatures. Gonna sacrifice, going all in here on the Dread Return. Brainstorm reveals the Cephalid and a Daze, and he is tapped out because that vial wasn't used. So Daze countering the Dread Return. And he's still got the Force of Will. Heartbreaker. He had a Daze of his own, but that is not symmetrical there as I was not tapped out. So he picks up game number 1, Cephalid, along with Shuko. That Hail Mary Brainstorm, finding a Daze, exactly what you want. I suppose, you know, a pair of Dazes would have been better. Daze plus Force of Will. There could have been better Brainstorms, but it was certainly dramatic. At least finding something stand in the way of certain defeat. Forced him to have it, which he did. We're on to the next game. Onder starting out, sees a Daze. Of course, more compressed the game state is, the better. For Daze, the longer it goes, tends to be pretty terrible. Also on the draw, much less exciting. Aether Vial for Kyle, that's a very dangerous card. Something to consider. Force of Willing, actually let it go. Keeping a ton of counter magic in hand. Cavern on board, having resolved Paradigm Shift. That means Thassa's Oracle pretty much has to be in hand. I mean, it does have to be in hand. Or I've just lost the game. And he just has the combo on turn 2 uncounterably. Cavern into Cephalid, Aether Vial, putting in the Nomad, and just going for it here on turn 2. He is tapped out. Goes for a Cabal Therapy. By Daze. Kind of vicious games here, really swinging for the fences. Finding these Narcomoebas. That is all of them. Red Return for Thassa's Oracle. And have a Force of Will to stop it. Next turn, Oracle comes down for the win on my side of the board, forcing a game 3. That is not typical. Usually you end up losing in that situation. Your opponent able to Cabal Therapy multiple times. I'm not sure if he had a Therapy in hand or a Narcomoeba in hand. Either way, he wasn't able to utilize 2 Cabal Therapies, which is kind of par for the course. Usually you get to do both Cabal Therapies, which would have been enough there. I had Daze and Force. That would have been handled by a pair of therapies. Kyle will have the play in this final game that may be the deciding factor. Speed kills. Cephalid Breakfast, that can be a turn 2 win. But on a Vial or a Nomad, can literally be over on the second turn. And he's got a Cabal Therapy. Aiming Force of Will, and it shows a combo and Paradigm Shift, Cephalid, Thassa's Oracle already in hand. Onder finds the Cavern of Souls. Second land needed. Could be a turn 2 Paradigm Shift with Cavern for that Thassa's Oracle. Now the scary part here is the Cabal Therapy in the graveyard. Any creature at all will allow for the flashback. That complicates the situation. So if he therapies hitting Thassa's Oracle, I would need to Paradigm Shift again. The other Paradigm Shift in hand, but the Thassa's Oracle as the only... I guess it would be Paradigm Shift and Thassa's Oracle into the library. Very, very interesting game state. Ball Therapy could just delay the inevitable. Seen that before on camera. Ponder, digging. Nomads might be the best things he can draw here. Because it's going to be Cavern, Thassa's Oracle next turn. May not know that. He may be thinking that counter magic is going to be good enough. Only runs a couple copies of Cavern. 17 total lands. Does have to be a land, though. Ponder was kept. Ponder's on his own. All tapped out. Daze is now back up. Likely to be needed as there is Cavern of Souls in hand. Here we go. Cavern naming wizard. Oh, I got ahead of myself. That's for the paradigm shift, so Daze actually would have stopped the paradigm shift. Got a Cephalid Illusionist. At this point, this just needs to be sacrificed to Cabal Therapy or he's dead next turn. A Prismatic Ending, that won't do anything. Force of Will stops the therapy. Next turn, untap, draw the Ponder, jam the Thassa's Oracle, and that's the win. This transformational sideboard, and just hellacious. Paradigm Shift and Thassa's Oracle fits in so well. The Cephalid breakfast build. I don't know. I am not sure what changes I want to make to the list. It's been doing very well. Let me know if you have any thoughts.